can, please. If you can multitask, please do. I feel I want to offer to help, but I know it's a total no.
No, it's not. This is collaborative project. Carrie Moore, the director of the visual art in the Valley, approached me and asked whether I could do an installation. And I thought about it, and I came up with the idea, rather than having individual artists showing themselves, we would gather a group of artists and sort of get our response to this environment and Kangaroo Valley and the landscape. We've had this place here for 20 years, actually exactly 20 years this year. And for me personally, being an immigrant to Australia, this has been the place where I actually feel the connection to the land, which in the city I have found very hard to feel. This fibre here is from the burnt trees. The burnt trees, some of them were felled and lopped. But it was sort of quite a shock for me that the trees first go through the fire and then they are shredded. And I needed to do something about it, about that material, so I collected it. And it's a kind of a nest, and then it connects also to the bird life, where birds disappeared pretty much through the fire. But I particularly thought of eagles because I love this eagle couple who have had nests somewhere there in the mountains, and they often came. Now I haven't seen them for at least a year, and I'm sort of being saddened, like what happened. So it's a kind of layers of that, and kind of telling the eagles that please come back and I'm making a nest for you.
Yes, yeah.
But then also I guess another level, I feel a little bit like a migrating bird myself, like making nests. Making a nest here in Australia.
It's great, I guess, through that work, you actually communicate that to us. And I hope something will nest in there somehow.
Initially, I was attracted to the water, but on my drive out, when I first came, I saw the boulder.
Right, okay.
Balancing on another boulder, and I thought, that's it. That's what I'm going to focus on. So now I want to know that every detail about that boulder.
What attracted you?
Just the fact that it's so solid, yet so vulnerable to falling. It doesn't look like it could move, but over time, not in my lifetime, but maybe a few hundred years, it might just fall off.
Yeah.
So it looks so fragile, but it's solid.
So solid, yes.
Yeah. So I'll know the rock. By the time I'm finished, I should be able to draw the rock without looking at an image of it.
Yeah, right.
So with the videoing, I dress in a red dress and go out into the environment and speak about the environment and places that I like in a made-up language. So nobody knows what I'm saying, but it appears that I know what I'm talking about. For example, siento cosleti, sioko siento kusu, oh, leka siete.
It feels like, yes, anyone observing it can actually somehow get a story out of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, Warren, here we are in a very historical moment, really. It's your studio.
Yeah, it is a very interesting day in that I have a blank canvas.
Yes.
Well, I think it's a great introduction for Kurika, having artists as an artistic theme here, because that's something of what Teddy and I want to create. Bring artists to understanding of some of the visible and invisible forces in arts in the valley.
Yeah.
In my work, I look at psychological landscapes, and the connection between psychological landscapes and physical landscapes is really interesting to me. So one of the things that stand out from the fires, well, what does the fire mean psychologically? It strips things away. You don't take things for granted. There's something transformative. So there's two sides to transformation. There's a destructive side that takes things away, and there's a creative side that brings new life. I like those themes of inside and outside. What happens to us psychologically, what happens to us in the landscapes, the houses we have, and it doesn't always go according to plan along the way. So I have some ideas that I'm working on for that. I will do drawings. Drawings help me think, but I actually want to use physical objects, and I want people to walk around. One of the intriguing things is rocks. And I guess the thing is that rocks are also changing, but we don't see it.
I would like people who see our artworks to think about the breadth of ideas that are possible. Like, no, all artworks are open-ended.
I would like people to think about the landscape and how it relates to them.
Well, I find here that the landscape took a path of its own simply because we were in the path of the fires. I think that certainly influenced my work a lot because of the starkness. I just tried to follow through the ideas of home and identity, and the darkness and the blackness of the trees. The materials and the processes that I used were all from the environment and from the immediate landscape, and reflect what that immediate landscape suffered.
And I think what I'm doing is looking at how we develop landscapes, we make landscapes, and landscapes make us. We're not really aware of the historicity of the landscapes around here. For instance, Kangaroo Valley used to be awash with magnificent cedar forests. And that's why I'm trying to, in my work, have a presentation where you look at a landscape through different eyes. And I'd like people to appreciate that landscape, however we've treated it, however we've manipulated it, is part of us. And if we want that part of us to change, then we need to change out the way we treat landscape.
What's exciting for me is that initially I thought that I'd better come up with a new work and that would come out of the residency, but I had another project called Reheal that I've been working on since early 2020. Each time it's sort of evolved and I get feedback from the audience because it is participatory.
Right.
And so I thought that this would be a good opportunity to present that work again to a new audience, but also to have that week residency here to go a bit slower on the making of the work.
Right,
It's always felt really rushed to me.
Yeah.
So I've come on site today and I've taken all the images that I'm going to use today from the property, which is a new sort of evolution in the work. Previously I've had the community submit images, where the interactive part of the project is I'm inviting the community or anyone that's walking past to come and peel away a layer of paper.
Right.
So that layer of paper for me is the fear, and underneath
What is there?
is going to be the surprise for people. So normally I've asked the community to submit those fear images, and I've provided the hopeful images.
Right.
I've done both for this project. I've taken all the photos on site.
Well, I'm looking forward to see that installed here in the valley on next weekend, and see what the participants and visitors will do there with your work.